Hi everybody, Refresh here. Today we are looking at Ultra Pro's board game sleeves for European size board game cards. So that's cards like Agricola or Dominion, or specifically cards 59mm by 92mm. These sleeves come in packs of 50 and for $2.99 a pack. That is going to be 6 cents per sleeve. Let's take a look at what we have inside. As you can see, the sleeves are clear and glossy on both sides. Let's see what the thickness is. They appear to be about 10mm across total. And if it's 10mm across, that means that each single sleeve is going to be 200 microns. So each face of the sleeve is 100 microns thick. And let's measure the dimensions of these sleeves. 97 tall and 63 across. And let's see how they fit. I'll take a copper from Dominion and see how it slides in. Looks like it fits pretty well. You have a little bit of room on each side, not a lot, and then just a little bit of extra room on top. One thing that you'll note, because this is Ultra Pro, every single sleeve is going to have this hologram here. It looks like they are fairly well placed, but because they might not all be perfectly identically placed, you probably want it on the front side of your card, which means that there's a potential that it might cover up some sort of artwork. So this is going to be a thing that some of you don't like, and in which case there are other options. But for the most part, it seems alright. There's a little bit of warping on the sleeve. It's not a perfectly flat surface. Okay, it's time for the sleeving test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 45 coppers and see how long it takes me to sleeve all of them with these Ultra Pro European size board game sleeves. Ready, set, go. Alright, we did it in about 2 minutes and 55 seconds, which isn't bad. 2 minutes and 55 seconds is going to be about 3.89 seconds per sleeve, so it's a bit of a slower sleeving, perhaps than the average. But if we look at the final sleeved results, it looks like the sleeves are pretty uniform. They're uniform in their height and they're uniform in their width, so that's a really good sign. Once the cards are sleeved, you still see a little bit of warping of the sleeve, but overall, I mean, it's not like you're going to be identifying it by its warping, and they feel pretty good in your hands. One thing that's interesting about these sleeves is if you look at the bottom, you can see that some of the sleeves are actually a little bit different than the others, just from the way that the bottom seam is made. If you compare the sleeves, it looks like some of them have a really thick seam and some of them have a much thinner seam. So it might actually be potentially identifiable if you have sharp eyes. So that might be a problem for some people. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly 5 left, so this is exactly 50 sleeves. And now what we'll do is we will shuffle these 45 sleeve cards 100 times and see how long that it takes. Ready? Go. Okay, it took about 2 minutes and 26 seconds to shuffle these 100 times. As you can see, while I was shuffling these sleeves, they slid pretty fast. But they were a little slick, so every once in a while the sleeves would slide out of my hand. I feel like the seams on these cards are just a little bit thicker, which means that sometimes when I'm pushing them against each other to mass shuffle, it resists a little if I catch a card on the wrong part of the seam. But I would say it's a pretty good shuffle overall. Let's take a look at the sleeves to see how they fared in the shuffle. Overall, I don't really see any scuffing. The sleeves seem pretty well intact. No really bent corners or broken seams. Actually, if you look at the bottom a little, there do seem to be some scuffs on the bottom seams of some of the sleeves, and I can't really tell whether that came from the manufacturing process or if it came because I was handling it. The bottom seams of some of these sleeves are a little bit on the rough side. What caused it? Oh, hey, look at this. There is one sleeve that appears to have taken some damage in the shuffling process and damaged a bit of the bottom end of the seam. I can't tell if it's actually part of the seam or it's just extra plastic. So I'm gonna see what happens when I tear this off. Okay, well, that's a marked sleeve, so I guess perhaps the production process here could use a little bit more refining, because now, you know, we have this weird sleeve that has like a dent in it, and that makes it pretty noticeable. So this one's gone. I'll trade it for a new one that doesn't have that. And again, it looks like there's little bits of plastic just on these sleeves, so I think the quality control could be improved for the sleeves a little. Okay, next up is this shake test. I'm gonna shake this deck of 45 sleeved coppers for about 2 seconds and see if it falls. Ready? Okay, it slid, but it didn't fall, so I would say that's a pass. Next up, I'm gonna draw 3 cards off the top of this deck to see how it handles in the draw test. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Nothing fell down, nothing slid too much, nothing stuck, so I'd say that it passes the draw test with flying colors. Again, so we're looking at sleeves that are on the more expensive side of the board game sleeve market at 6 cents per sleeve. I think the production quality is a little bit below the price range that we're looking at. Having some sleeves have like little plastic bits at the ends of them, you know, means that the finishing process for the production of these sleeves isn't that good. And then, like, this happens to be the only time that I've had a sleeve become damaged during the shuffling process. So that's not a good look either. And then of these sleeves, you know, some of these sleeves had considerably thicker seams on the bottom than others. And so that's a little bit troubling too. And I would have hoped that the production quality would have been better. They do feel really good in your hands, which is really nice. And, you know, the slickness of the sleeves does help the shuffling to some extent, even mitigating some of the fact that the seams are just a little bit thicker than I anticipated. And then the whole hologram thing in the corner is going to be something that bothers some people, and some people are going to like it because maybe they have a long history of using Ultra Pro sleeves, so they're just used to seeing that hologram. So that is Ultra Pro's board game sleeves for European board game cards. Thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful to you, hit the like button for me and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on gaming or gaming products. If you have any experience with these Ultra Pro sleeves, both in their consistency or durability, you can help us out by clicking on the links to the surveys in the description box below and filling out your survey with experience with these sleeves or any other gaming sleeves that you might have, so that we can collectively come up with a sense of how durable and how consistent each of the sleeves are. Because this is just one pack that I bought. It could be a rogue pack, or it could be an example of how it should be at its best. So thanks very much. This is Refresh, and see you next time.